name is Adam Fangman, and I'm going to talk about ice hockey. This is my audience. Have you ever watched or attended a hockey game? If so, you may have gone solely for the fights or the beer. But what if you knew about the sport? Would it change your perspective? I'm here to inform you about the sport of ice hockey. Did you know it is one of the fastest sports on earth? It is also one of the most overlooked sports in the whole United States and around the world. I'm here today to tell you about the origins of the sport, the basic rules, and the commonly mistaken facts. Hockey was first played in 1885 in Montreal, Canada. One of the most common perceptions is that hockey players are from, indeed, Canada. That is true. Most hockey players are, in fact, from Canada. Hockey is played almost around the world in every country, except some African countries. According to hockeyhistory.com, hockey was first played in the Olympics in 1920. The sport did not start appearing in the U.S. until the NHL was formed in 1917. I'm now going to talk about some of the evolution of the equipment, including the helmets, the elbow pads, pucks, and sticks. I'm going to first start off with the sticks. The most common stick back in the day was a wooden stick, just like the one I have here. The wooden sticks are a two-piece design where it has the blade from about here down and then the shaft. These are inconsistent when manufacturing them because it's hard to get the same flexibility with each stick, and these break a lot more easily than the next stick I'm going to talk to you about, which is a composite stick. The composite stick I have here, which is the one I use, is a one-piece design. It's made of carbon fiber and fiberglass. These are a lot more stable and more durable, which they hardly ever break when you're using them. So this is the most commonly used in the NHL and all professional leagues. Now, the next thing I have to talk to you about is the helmet. This is the most common helmet that is used today. It has a mask here and has a protective padding inside. Back in the day, they didn't even use helmets, so the evolution of the equipment has greatly evolved. The next example I have here for you is elbow pads. This elbow pad is from the 1990s into the early 2000s. As you can see, it's got a little plastic piece here, not much protection in there, versus the ones they have now, which is this is the one I use. It has a little bit more protection up around the elbow, more straps to keep it strapped around your arm, and a lot more padding in through here. The last thing I'm going to talk to you about is the puck. One of the most miscommonly known facts is that everybody just thinks a puck's just put on the ice. No, indeed, they are frozen before they're put in play. This eliminates the bounciness of the puck. If it was at room temperature, it would be bouncing all over the place, taking different hops and deflections. So with it being frozen, it stays more stable towards the ground. Now that you've learned about the history of the sport, let's talk about the rules in the different leagues. Some of the basic rules of hockey most people don't know. There are three types of penalties in hockey. The first penalty is a game misconduct. This is the most severe of them all. The game misconduct, like it sounds, you are put out for the game. This happens when people try to hurt someone, make a bad hit, argue with the ref. Sometimes they'll get game misconducts. The next penalty we have is a major penalty. This is most common in fights, as you see in the ice. This is a 5-minute penalty, which can result in teams losing a player. The minor penalty, which is the last one, this is for tripping, hooking, all those very minor penalties. It's a 2-minute penalty in which a team loses a player. There are also several other stoppages in play. There's offsides, just like in soccer. Hockey has offsides too. There's icing, which is when a player or a team ices the puck all the way down the other end of the ice. You're not allowed to do that. Bring it all the way back down to where you last hit the puck from. You are allowed to do it on the penalty kill. That's the only time you're allowed to do that. And then there's other stoppages in play, such as if someone gets hurt, the puck goes out of play, the goalie makes a save and holds on to it. There's other stoppages in play. Now, I'm going to talk to you about the different leagues and teams that are in the sport of hockey. There are three major types of leagues in hockey in North America. This I found on dickestelle.com, which keeps an active list of all hockey teams and leagues in North America. I'll start with the first league, which is the ECHL. This is the bottom league of the three. The most common team in the ECHL is the Cincinnati Cyclones, our hometown team, and the Wheeling Nailers. Those are the two teams that most commonly known in the ECHL. The next league, which is above the ECHL, is the AHL. This is the Milwaukee Admirals, the San Antonio Rampage. Those are two both affiliates with the Cincinnati Cyclones, which I'll talk about the affiliations in just a second. And then the last league that everyone knows is the NHL. This is your Columbus Blue Jackets, Chicago Blackhawks, Pittsburgh Penguins, Boston Bruins. And the way it works with the three leagues is it's almost like a farm system, just like in baseball. You have your major league, your AAA, and then your AA. And there are some single A, but no one really knows about the single A teams. But the way it works is players are drafted by the NHL teams and then trickle down through the organizations until they develop into what the NHL teams want, and then they're called back up to the NHL. There are other teams in various other leagues around North America and around the world. There's other professional leagues. Like I said, there's a couple AA or single A teams, like the Louisiana Ice Gators, and then there's junior hockey teams which are spread out all over the world, in which kids play in just to get drafted by the NHL teams. In conclusion, by knowing now a little bit more about the sport, you are now able to appreciate one of the fastest sports in the world. Hockey is a global sport and a local sport, and is growing in popularity, and more people understand and have an appreciation for the sport. I hope that you have come away with an interest to either now watch or attend a hockey game. And with this knowledge, you'll be able to appreciate the sport a little more.